Good morning, traders. Gates W. Adams here, and I am your host on today's episode of the Trader Bacon Show. Welcome back and happy tax day. I think that's one of those phrases that should never be uttered, but here we are. Anyway, April 15th, and we are, getting ready for this, moving into the latter half of this month. First of all, I want to congratulate last week's winners of the evaluations. We have Pedro, Hernan, and Mauro. Hopefully I'm pronouncing those correctly. I do my best. I also wanted to take a moment to mention that throughout the month of April, Apex Trader Funding has 80% off all evaluations, all sizes, and half price resets. And 1 day to pass. That is, just for the record, 1 day minimum to pass. It doesn't mean you have to pass it in a day. It just means that if you do, you can get qualified and you're good to go. As you guys see on here, we have the form for the evaluation giveaway. Please make sure to fill that out before we wrap up the show, and the winners will be announced on next week's show once again. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us today on today's episode of the Trader Bacon Show.
Welcome to the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Are you ready? Because the Trader Bacon Show starts right now.
Good morning, Alon. How's it going today?
Yeah, everything's great.
Excellent. I guess it's not morning for you. You're middle of the evening at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. Currently here in Israel.
Excellent. And first of all, I just wanted to take a quick moment personally to let you know that my heart and prayers are with Israel right now through everything that's going on, for whatever any of that is worth. But I wanted to thank you for taking your time and spending some time with us today. It definitely means a lot, and I know that we've got some people excited to hear what you have to say. So first of all, let's get a little bit of background on you, man. How long have you been trading?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for mentioning all the situation here in Israel. Let's not forget that there are more than 130 hostages held by the terror organization in Gaza. We hope to see them all free from captivity. And for the good stuff, for the trading, everything goes well. Today started as a good day, and currently everything's good.
Yeah. So how long have you been at this? So you've been trading for a little while now, right?
Yeah, I've been over the markets for over 20 years, mostly stocks and options. But I studied the future market about 13 years ago, and I ditched it. I didn't touch it because it seemed too dangerous. And lately, about a year ago, I heard about prop firms in Apex and started to investigate everything. And there was something weird in it. First of all, I thought it was a scam, but as I go further inside and people got paid, and so I got back into the futures market, and we got our own software that we developed, me and my partner, Mr. Muli. So that's what we're doing right now.
Excellent. And we'll talk about that here as we go through. So you mentioned that obviously as you were trading equities and equities and options, you felt like futures were a little too dangerous. So would you expand on that a little bit? What do you mean by that?
Okay, option market has a lot of options in it. You can buy shares or ETFs or a lot of assets in very, very variety of time. Okay, like a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, and you can buy shares with a discount if you buy, let's say, a call option deep in the money. You have a lot of strategies you can work with, and I ran the math, held some strategies during the time, and futures seems to be dangerous because you buy on a spot and you cannot either you win or lose. You cannot wait. You cannot, and it's very, very volatile. And I had some paradigms about futures because it's very dangerous and you cannot predict it, and there are no patterns, and all of that got changed recently.
Well, so that's what I was going to say. So clearly that has changed, and obviously now as you are trading futures, what was the biggest factor for you in making that shift and that transition?
Okay, first of all, I like gambling, but when I want to come as a nice thing to do, like not as a main income. Okay, so whenever you want to gamble, it's okay to drop, 100, 200. But if you want to make it a business, or you want to make it a pattern, a recurring pattern, then gambling, it's not for me. Like When it's my business, I'm not gambling.
Right.
I'm doing it straight up. So I started to look for those patterns, and we found it. Found those patterns every day. Had a lot of investigation for a lot of assets. That's why I get so confident in my trading skills in the futures market. And the second thing, is all the prop firms, the risk reward. So you can risk like a minimum amount of money and get a lot of payments, get a lot of extra dollars, and you don't risk much. You have a lot of way to make mistakes, because like if it's an evaluation account, it costs only. Today there's a promotion like $35 a month, so it's literally nothing when you talk about trading and the stock exchange.
So obviously that removes and eliminates a lot of that risk. But when it came to your actually trading structure, were you able to trade the same way in futures as you were in options and equities, or did you have to completely transition your trading style?
I completely changed everything I know about investments and trading. Everything was changed.
So what did that look like for you? How did that progression take place for you?
First, it was very hard. It took me a lot of time to make these changes, and a lot of mentality in day trading. A lot of mentality. I would say like 80% of the trading is mentality, and the 15% are your technique or your strategy or strategies, and 5% is pure luck.
Cannot discount the value of luck even in trading. So obviously this has transitioned into more than just trading for you. So if you wouldn't mind, share a little bit. What is it that you're doing now in addition to your trading that has become a part of your trading game?
Well, the past 2 years, I've been doing some triathlon. My base sport was judo. I haven't trained for a lot of time, so I searched for something to do, and I was riding with my bicycle with one of my friends, and I told to my brother, if I can complete a 40 kilometers ride, then I'll go and sign up for a triathlon, and which I did, and I completed my first full distance Ironman about a year and a half ago. And since then, it became a part of me, and I use a lot of things that I do during my training and my races and my competitions inside my trading. Like don't look when you open an account, you don't look on your final goal. Like when you open a 50K account, you don't look at the 53. You just what you want, let's say today or next week. So it is that. A marathon run, you don't think about the last kilometer. You just think about the first kilometer or the next 200 meters. So that's it.
So I think this brings up a point that I've brought up on the show before, but I think a lot of times traders try to bring a level of discipline into their trading that they don't necessarily exhibit in the rest of their lives. And in my opinion, from what I've seen, not only with other traders, but just within myself, if I'm disciplined in other areas of my life, I find it easier to be disciplined in my trading and vice versa. So when you talk about, running marathons and doing triathlons, these are activities that require a significant level of discipline. Did you notice a shift in your results as a trader when you started to take on these different projects?
I began my triathlon before I come into trading, day trading. So I just took all of my discipline. I'm very self-disciplined. I think that's life is either discipline or regret. And you can take it to every field that you think: diet, training, trading, and practically everything. So I took all of my discipline and use it during my trading sessions and experience.
And I think that absolutely makes a significant difference in how somebody approaches the markets, because as you mentioned, and I agree with you, and I've heard a lot of other people use even the same statistics, it's about 80% mental, and that includes the discipline, that includes really just internalizing what you say you're going to do and following through. Because I know for me, when I blow up an account, It is because I've exited my standard formula, my trade plan, and what it is that I've decided ahead of time that I'm going to do. And we all do it. It doesn't matter how seasoned you are. Every trader I know has gone through this cycle over and over again. But the key, I think, is in a lot of cases really just focusing in on making sure that discipline stays in place as consistently as possible. Now, you've gone beyond the arena of just trader. Now, you actually have some software that you've put together in the world of trading, right?
Right, exactly. Designed by my partner.
Okay, so we would love to get a look at that and take a look at some charts right now. And if you can share that with us, I think that'd be a great opportunity to see what you've been working with.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So let us know what we're looking at here.
Let me know when you see my charts.
We've got them up.
Yep. Okay, so you see them up. Okay. Okay. Basically, I'm gonna disappoint you a little bit because my trading strategy don't expect anything extra sophisticated or super smart. Very, very simple to take about 2 minutes to understand it, even less. And basically, we use this line, which is the VWAP line. Mm-hmm. Okay, we call it the center of gravity. We know that large institutions use it. And basically, for all of the assets that we trade and our customers trade, it's very simple. The price gets away from the VWAP line and then comes back towards it. Now, it doesn't have to touch it like as we see at this specific point, but it comes back to it. And what you want to do is just take small bites just between those bands. As you can see them, there are bands, 4 bands below and 4 bands above the VWAP line. Just wait until the price hits the correct band, and for each asset, it's a different band, of course. And then the trade, you take the trade. If it's below the VWAP line, you take a long position, and if it's above the VWAP line, you take a short position. And then you wait until it touches the next band, and that's it. Just small bites, $50, $70 per trade. Usually, whenever we hit the $150 a day, we quit. We turn off the computer, and we don't trade anymore.
So a level of discipline definitely associated with that. Now, of course, we've seen the VWAP before. So what is it that you're doing?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. There's some glitch.
Yeah, it looks like Gootz's internet went out, so I'll go ahead and step in here.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead and continue with what you were saying, and I'll pick up the conversation.
Now it's good. Can you repeat the questions, please?
Yeah, I mean, you can just continue talking about the strategy. Gates's internet dropped, so I'm just stepping in.
Okay, I'm hearing only you right now.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so Gates have the problems.
Yeah, we're still live. Gates just his internet connection dropped, so I'll be your host for right now. But you can continue talking about your strategy, and then I'll ask.
Okay. So people hear me. So okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Sorry, thought the problem is in my side. Okay, no. So I took my trading. We divided the day into 3 sessions. Okay, the first session, since whatever the market opens, I think it's 6 p.m. your time, Eastern time. Here in Israel, it's 1 a.m. And until 7 o'clock, we call in the Asian part of the day, the Asian session. There are not so volatility. The price are very not so much volume, and it's good for me specific. And the second session is the European session between 7 8 a.m. until around 3 p.m. Israel time, and then the American session between 3 p.m. until the rest of the day. I rarely trade during the American session. Okay, because it's very, very volatile and not predicted, and I don't like volatility. I like small steps. I like small bites, and then during the American session, we see a lot of volatility, a lot of news. We don't trade during news, of course, and so it's rarely that I trade this session. Most of my tradings, like I would say, 95% are during the Asian session of the day. Small bites. I just get up at around 1:30. I wake up, I place my trades, and then I go to sleep, and I wake up to either 3 of the situations. First of them is that nothing's happened, okay, because the price didn't reach the band that I want. The second thing is the price reached the band that I placed the order on, and the trade was closed. And the third thing is if the price reached the band and continue against me. And then I need to deal with what happens. It either goes to I wait until around 7 a.m. and then I close my position manually most of the times, unless there are no news. And if there are news, then I close my position. It depends on the asset, of course.
Right.
And sometimes there are statistically days that you get to your stop loss. Okay, it's you can never know why this is happening. Just get to understand that it is what it is. And sometimes the statistics, you get a stop loss day. Mine are depends on the account. If it's a 50K account, it's between $400 to $500. And whenever you hit your stop loss, your daily stop loss, you don't trade anymore at that day because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And tomorrow is another day, and next week is the next week. And you don't want to blow your account. You just want to continue and trust the statistics that with confidence.
It's so important to make sure you preserve your capital. Gates is back on. Gates, I think you might be giving us feedback. If you want to lower your volume.
Yeah.
Okay, my apologies. My power went out in my office in my studio here, and so I'm on my phone with the wonderful light from the door behind me. So my apologies for that. Am I sounding a little better now?
I think you're good. Let me go ahead and talk a little bit. Perfect. We are good. The show is all yours. If I hear some crackle, I'll come back in.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And my apologies for that. And here on my phone, I cannot see the chat. So I will apologize for that. I won't be able to interact with you guys on that sense. So Alon, thank you for being patient with us and being flexible and chatting here a little bit with Zunaid. So clearly I missed a couple of comments here. So I guess really the big question that I had for you, because I know you've built some software around this. So my question was, what is it that is different about what it is that you've created versus simply using the VWAP as an indicator?
Okay, we wait until the price gets to an extreme position.
Okay.
And all of our investigation for every asset was what is the best position and the best volatility to take an asset, to take a trade.
Okay.
It's easiest to understand. You have to know what futures are in order to really understand why we trade, how to trade. Because futures are mainly a derivative of any asset. When I want to explain someone about futures, I mostly use the treasury notes.
Right.
Treasury notes are a loan. We give a loan to the government. Let's say we give $100 a loan. And at the end of the year, the government needs to pay us, according to the interest rates today, around 105. So, and whenever the time passes, your loan gets increased, like the price is increased. And for every specific minute, you're supposed to know what is the real value of the loan, because it's a really calculated asset, right? So, and if the price changes from the real value of the asset, then it has to be only supply and demand. But everything is supply and demand. But whenever high supplies or high demands comes in and the price changes, we expect it to come back. I'm not talking about changing in the interest rates or any specific news, but basically this is what's happening. Because if the price changes and gets away from the actual value, it means that at some points it needs to go back. And we took this thing and just drop it on all of our assets, and we see their supply and demand for the British pound and for the Canadian dollar and for the euro and for the Swiss franc and for a lot of assets. But it's easiest to understand when you talk about treasury notes.
Gotcha. Now, you also mentioned that, of course, depending on what it is that you're trading, you're going to use a different band. Now, was this determined through trial and error and back testing, or is there some logic behind if it's gold, we're going to use this band. If it's crude oil, we're going to use this one. If we're trading NQ, it's going to be this one. How do you determine that?
Okay, we made an investigation about every asset, and let's take, for example, this ZF. Okay, the 5-year Treasury note. We know that whenever it hits the first band during the Asian session. Okay, most of the times around until 7 a.m. Israel time, the price will head back to the VWAP line. So we investigated about around between 3 years and 13 years. It depends on the asset, and we found out that in some cases, out of more than 1,000 times that it happens, only 9 times it didn't come back to the VWAP line.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a crazy statistics, and whenever when you make an investigation, when you know your asset, you trade with confidence. So when I place my trades before I go to sleep, or when I wake up and put my trades, I go to sleep like a baby. Well, not like a baby, because baby doesn't sleep, but I go to sleep with no worries, because I trust the statistics, and whatever happens, I know it's the average will come into my favor. And this is how I actually got payouts from Apex, because small bites and small trades, always with consistency rules. I rarely have days that are more than 30% of my payouts, so it works with Apex like a glove.
That's fantastic. Now this brings up the question. So when you use these statistics, for example, in the example that you gave, 9 times out of 1,000, are they returning to the line within that day? Because obviously, as a funded paid trader with Apex, there is no swing trading. So you do have to close the position by the end of day. So are you finding that those statistics are factored in with end of day trading?
It's only into the day. It's in the session. Remember that I said I rarely trade the American session. So. During the Asian part of the day, between 1 o'clock Israel time and 7 o'clock, most of the times, like extremely enough times, it goes back to the VWAP, or at least close to it, so you can close your trade with profit.
Got it. Now, you talk about, of course, the concept of sleeping like a baby, or sleeping soundly, knowing that your positions are, for all intents and purposes, I don't want to say safe, because I don't want to give any impressions of anything that could be misconstrued. However, you know that statistically speaking, you've been successful enough that you don't have to sit there and monitor the screen 24/7 when anytime you're in a trade. So how has this changed the way that you live and the way that you operate, being able to actually step away from the screen there?
Wow, it's crazy. I don't like when I see a trade live. I don't like it. It's like making me shivers and anxiety. So I took my trading, and I took whatever I want to do with my trading, and just drop it into our software, into my trading skills. So that's why when I say, okay, you don't like to look at the screen, then don't look at it. Just trust yourself, trust the investigation. Place the orders, and what can happen? Even there are many days now that all the statistics will go wrong, and there will war with everybody, and nothing works. When you blow an account, it's like it's $200. It's like it's not the end of the world, okay? There's no higher stakes here. Back then, when I traded, you were supposed to deposit around 10K in order to trade, and you wipe them all out. So it was harsh day back then. Today, the cost of error is really cheap.
Well, that absolutely is an excellent point. Obviously, you get into the point of where you have a funded account and you have some buffer, but there's still the opportunity to protect that buffer depending on how you select and set up your trades. So if somebody wanted to get more information on your software and how you developed it, this is not a plug show by any stretch, but obviously when our guests have something that they have developed and has been successful for them and for other traders, we like to share that information. So if somebody wanted to find out a little bit more about what you've done, where would they go to find that?
First of all, you can contact me via my Instagram, AlonBar0OK, which is one of my businesses, Out of Kufsa. It's out of the box in Hebrew. Okay. It's a financial education program that I used to run. And if you're from Israel, you can just search for TradeX Israel. And if you're from all over the world, just search for TradeX EU. That's it.
Awesome. Well, obviously things are moving in the right direction. Things are going well for you, and it's created an opportunity to live a different life. And I love seeing these great stories of how trading has changed, well, literally everything in somebody's life. And so it just this is one of the reasons that I get so excited about doing the show. As you guys can see, my lights have come back on. So thanks for your patience with that. But I'm still here on my phone, so again, I can't see the chat. But I did want to just remind everybody, of course, if you want to get in the drawing for one of the evaluations that we will be giving away for this show, please make sure to go ahead and fill out the form that's right there in the chat. Obviously, it just popped up right there, so just copy and paste that. Get that filled out. Winners will be announced by the end of the week, and with instructions on how to get everything set up. Alon, thank you so much for taking some time and sharing your wisdom with us today and sharing some of the tools that you've put together. Unfortunately, like I said, obviously I missed a little bit of that conversation, which was really kind of the conversation I was really excited to hear. So I think for the first time, I'm going to go back through the replay with a fine-tooth comb. Usually I'm in it. This time not being so. I am excited to hear what it was that you were sharing. And a little bummed that I missed that, but nice thing about having these recorded is you can always go back and check them out later, which hopefully some of you guys have had an opportunity to do, not with just Alon today, but with some of the other guests that we've had in the past. All of that said, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Go make sure your taxes are done, or at least, for those of you in the U.S. anyway, or at the very least extended. I know that is on my list for the rest of this afternoon. Get that taken care of. And we will be back next week with an awesome show. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us today, and we'll see you then.
Thank you. Thank my partner, Muli, and have a peaceful time, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us on today's Trader Bacon Show.
Welcome to the Trader